Alright, this is the install video for how to put in the Footwell lighting kit from H2 Auto Designs in your car. Behind me, this is my Nissan GTR. However, this kit works in most Nissans, so I'll have some footage of how to put it in on your specific car. There's 4 easy steps. So step number 1 is you need to access the glove box light and plug in our plug and play harness. The reason we're using the glove box light is that light is actually on when your headlights are on, and it's off when your headlights are off. So what's cool about it is when it gets dark and you turn your headlights on, then the lights, the Footwell lighting will turn on, and then when your headlights are off, so it's daytime, the lights will be off. So it's nice in that regard. Step number 2 is the wires just need to be moved to both the passenger side and the driver's side, so they're on both sides. Step number 3 is you just adhere the LEDs and the little control box, and you just peel and stick it to where it needs to go. And then step number 4 is we tuck and hide the wires so everything looks stock and you can't tell anything's there. So I'll walk you through how to do that on your car. So this install is recommended if it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit or higher outside. If you live somewhere cold, like where I live, and it's below 50 degrees at any time during the year and you want to do this install, definitely pay attention to step 3, because when we start using adhesive, if it's cold, you have to do some extra things for the adhesive to stick well. But yeah, stay tuned to check that out. All right, just wanted to do a quick overview of what's included in the kit here. So obviously have the LED lights, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger side, and they connect to this Bluetooth controller box that will allow you to change the brightness and the color of the lights with the app on your smartphone. And then there'll be a plug here that will plug in here. And then this is the vehicle specific plug and play harness. And this is gonna be something that's gonna steal power from your glove box. So your glove box is connected right now. We're going to steal that and plug the cord that comes from your car into here. This side will plug into your glove box light, so that still works. And then now we have this cord here that steals the power. The magic of this is that you're not going to have to splice any wires. You're not going to have to turn the lights on and off, because they'll automatically turn on and off at the right times. So this is sort of where the magic is at. The other stuff that's here are your install tools. So the only thing you'll need other than this is a Phillips head screwdriver. There's some cars where you don't need that, like the Nissan Rogue, but most cars you'll need a screwdriver. The longer the better. But other than that, we got some electrical tape we're going to use temporarily, some Velcro, some glue that you may or may not use, some zip ties to tie some stuff down, alcohol swabs to clean off this area, and then this is a rod that will help us push stuff from one side to the other. So we can hop to the install. All right, shout out to my friend Fernando from the R35 Classifieds Facebook group. He's going to be showing us this install on his red 2018 Nissan GTR.
So you can use a flathead, plastic pry, or whatever you want to get this piece out. You can actually just grab it from this edge and yank it out. So that comes off. After you got this piece out, you're gonna want to pull from here. This whole panel is gonna come out. Might have a little resistance here, but it's not too bad. But it will just pop out, just clips off, as you can see. All right. Now we gotta figure out. Just put this on the other side somewhere. This is the leather, so you don't want this to get scratched. So here's the connector. That is where you're gonna tap your power into. What I ended up doing is I removed the glove box, which is just like any other one. Pull out. Once the glove box is down, you pull out, and then you'll have this string holding onto it. You'll wanna unclip that from the glove box itself. Again, put it somewhere safe so it doesn't get scratched. In the newer generations, you can't fit your arms through here, so you can't reach that plug. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is remove this plastic cover here, and your cabin air filter is right back there. So it's essentially like replacing your cabin air filter, because you have to do all this. I've already done it on my car. This is a 2018 GTR. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these Phillips screws. There's one all the way up there, and if I find any more, I'll let you know. But I'll go ahead and record once I have this out.
I just wanted to take a quick sec here and just sort of highlight all the screws. So there's 10 total. I have them all circled. Well, I have 9 of them circled, and then you'll notice I have an arrow. So if you look inside there, you'll see one more screw that needs to be pulled out. They're all Phillips. I'll also link to a video by Bros 4Speed where he removes this panel in another GTR, so you can sort of see how it comes out. But yeah, it's pretty simple.
All right, so we got this cover off. That's basically what your glove box clips into. 10 of these Phillips screws. Now you can easily see the plug. This is your glove box light, and we're gonna feed, once we connect it, we're gonna feed the wires.
So unfortunately we didn't get this in the 2018 Nissan GTR, so this is just footage from another Nissan. It's exactly the same. You unplug the glove box light, plug in the plug and play harness, and then go from there. So this is what it looks like. This is going to be what we want to get. So again, you push down. There's a little tab here, and we're going to push down on this tab and then pull out. And I'll do another close-up here. So again, this is the tab right here. We're just pushing down on that and pulling out. This is our vehicle-specific plug-and-play kit. So we're gonna grab this. It has a female end with a hole and a male end. So we're gonna go to our light that comes from our car, connect that. Then from the other side, looks like in this case, this tab that we pulled before is going to be facing down. And drop that in there. Perfect. From here, we need access to this later, so there's a big hole right here. We're just going to drop this wire down. I'm just pulling it from the side. Alright, so for these next steps, I'm actually going to film all this on my Nissan GTR, so don't be alarmed if the car doesn't look like your car. However, these steps are pretty universal and are applicable to all vehicles. Alright, so we have our harness that's connected to our glove box light. And again, I would not put the glove box completely together just yet because you want to make sure everything works, so don't put everything together just yet. But this is the wire that now is coming down that we need to route to the right sides of the car. So this whole step is about getting what we need on the passenger side and what we need on the driver's side. So that white little metal rod that came with your car, make sure to straighten it up because this is going to be our pushing device. So we get some tape that came, so get some tape, connect it so these are in line with each other, and literally we're just gonna tape this around just like this. And again, this is a temporary little thing. So now when it's taped like this, on every car, between the passenger side and the driver's side, there is this whole center console thing. And if you go behind, if you see this white wire, if you go behind here, you should be able to, there's usually a gap. On some cars it's bigger, some cars smaller, but there's always some type of gap. Some cars, like your air cabin filter sits here, but what I do is I take this as far back as I can go and I just try to shove it over. And if you get any type of resistance, then let's see if I can get a better angle. So if you get any type of resistance, just sort of pull it out and shove it back, try to shove it back in. But yeah, if you just push over, and I'm just sort of pushing until it seems like I've got over to the other side, and it looks like I got a good chunk of it over there. So now I'm gonna go to the other side of the car and just sort of see where we're at. So if I did it correctly on the driver's side now, I should be able to see the wire. I'm gonna take this off my head, so I apologize for the camera. So on here, it's a little hard to see, but I can see that the wire is right here. So now I'm just gonna pull this all the way through. I'm gonna pull this all the way through. So now I have access to my wire here. So now I'm gonna undo the tape. So I'm undoing the tape because this little wire is gonna need to stay here. And I'm just gonna undo the tape. So here's my wire. It's great. So I need to do something with this, but before I do that, I actually need to send some LEDs from this side back the other way. The multicolored kit, you have this box. So this is a Bluetooth box that you can interact with your phone, allows you to change the color, the lights, the brightness, all whatnot. So make sure to scan this QR code on here, and you can download the app for your phone. After you have the app, what I would do is I would connect it. So this is again the plug that came from the glove box light, that little harness. Plug it in there, connect it, and then just at least test to make sure it works, and you download the app and all that works. So you have to have your headlights in the on position. So your headlights have to be in the on position, and for some cars you have to turn the car on. So I can see now that these are on because my headlights are on, and I'm gonna turn the headlights off. So grab this. So now we're gonna do the exact same thing we did, but just in reverse. So grabbing my tape again, and I am going to grab a little piece of tape, and I am going to grab that wire, and that wire that is here. So again, this is my wire that's hanging here still, and put these in line with each other. So don't do this, put them in line with each other, and I'm just gonna get some tape, and again, I'm just taping this and going here. So again, this is the side that I want to go to the passenger side. So now that these are taped together, I'm going to grab this, and we're gonna go back to the passenger side. So here is the wire, and all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull back the other way, and magic, here's my LED. So now everything we need is on the right side of the car. So LEDs here, we got the power connector, and the other LED on the other side. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to peel and stick those things where they need to go. All right, as we get to step 3, when we're sticking stuff, this is a big reminder, adhesives do not like cold. So if you live somewhere where it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit or colder when you're doing the install, you're gonna have to follow a couple extra steps. So just make sure, one, when we start using the alcohol in the summer, you'll see in my video, it's gonna like dry in like 10 or 20 seconds. You might have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes for the alcohol to dry to clean the area. Number 2 is both the LED light and where you're sticking it need to be heated up just a little bit. You're gonna see in the video, I'm gonna recommend either a heat gun or a blow dryer just for like 10-15 seconds. Otherwise, the adhesive will not bond. And then number 3, once things bond and you're like pressing them in place for a little bit just to make sure they're sealed. In the video that I'm gonna do in the summer, you're gonna see I'm gonna do it for like, I don't know, 10 seconds, but in the winter you're gonna have to push those things for maybe like 30 seconds just to really hold them in place and make sure they're bonded well together. But we'll go through that here. So the next step is before we actually attach anything with adhesive, we want to make sure to clean the area. So you have a couple alcohol swabs that come. So first you want to get a rough idea of where you're gonna put it. So in here you want to put it somewhere where you don't want to put here, because if you put it like right here, you can, 1, see it when you enter the car, and then 2, it'll just be like in your face. So you want to just like put it here. So in my case, here would work. You could put it back there, wherever you want really. Try to center it. It's not the end of the world if you don't center it, because these lights are pretty wide angle lights, so it'll illuminate the area really nicely. So this is roughly the area that I want it. And same thing on the driver's side, it'll probably be just like underneath there. So all right, so I'm gonna clean the area. Take your alcohol swab, pretty straightforward. Clean the area. This part is super important because there's all types of crap like dust and grease and fingerprints and all this type of stuff that will make things not stick as well. So that's what I like to do. Again, hit the other side. Same deal. I'm just using the alcohol swab just to make sure the whole area is nice and clean. And now, wait 20 or 30 seconds. This is a cold weather tip, but instead of 20 to 30 seconds, you're waiting, you know, maybe 2-3 minutes for the alcohol to dry. So very quick, for illustrative purposes, I want to show you what not to do. It is cold right now. It's about 30 degrees. So this LED's been outside cold. This car is cold. Both of these should not be cold. If I stick this, and I'm going to stick it right here for this purpose. Normally you're sticking it underneath here, but for now, if I stick this here, you'll see that that thing pretty much just came off. Like, you know, it sticks. I mean, it pretty much isn't sticking at all. If you live in one of those cold temperatures, this is what you're gonna have to do. This is a heat gun. You can also use a hair dryer. Either one works. So I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of heat, just like a couple seconds, and then we're gonna stick it. I'm gonna show you what it does. So this is what you're gonna need to do for the next step before you would adhere stuff. So one 1,000, two 1,000. Heat this guy. You don't want to heat it for too much. You don't want this thing scorching hot. All right, so now that I've heated both of them real quick, and now I'm going to apply that exact same adhesive. So we're gonna apply it again. And just with that little bit of heat there, again, you have to hold a little bit longer too, but now this thing is way more solid. I'm giving this thing a good tug and it is not moving. So just remember to hit it with that little bit of heat. Again, you don't want to get this too hot because it'll burn. Remember, press and hold for a little bit longer, it'll be solid. So when we get to the next step, you're seeing me doing in the summer, but if you live in a cold temperature, this is what you got to do. Peel it back here. Find a placement that works. Again, ideally, you know, make sure the cable here is coming off of this side opposed to having it this way. It'll just make it easier to tuck and hide the wires. Try to place it somewhere in the middle, as far back as you can, but you just don't want it visible. I'm gonna place mine here. And once you place it, you just want to push down for a little bit. And I did not mention, there's an included Gorilla Glue adhesive. So if you push these and stick them, and let's say they're just not sticking, or you put them and they keep falling down or anything like that, that Gorilla Glue adhesive is what you would use to put those on there. But I've had pretty darn good luck with these not really falling off. So you would stick one. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, of course. Actually, no. Ignore my wire. I had to shove this back through. And again, you do the same adhesive. You would plop that there. And then once you plop that there, hold 5-10 seconds. All right, so we have our lights mounted. The last thing we need to mount is this box. Again, this is the Bluetooth box that interacts with your phone. So again, as far as mounting this, when I first did this install, I actually mounted it. I just like tucked it in there, out of sight, out of mind. It worked great. As I sent the kit out to more people, I realized that in some people's cars, it needs to be pretty close to where their phone is. I don't know if it's interference or what's going on. So sometimes it needs to be as close as like 6 inches close to your phone. So my new recommendation is actually just to mount it, if possible, just to the side of the light on the driver's side. So in my case, I actually have this little metal rod. So if you see, I have a little piece of Velcro. So I'm gonna mount it right here. Alternatively, you could mount it here, or you could throw it like here or in there. It depends on, you know, where you want it visible and, you know, how you want it all to look. But in every kit, you should have a little Velcro piece. There's a plastic backing, so you peel off the backing on one side, and then you peel off the backing on the other side. I already have this attached, so you'll see I have one side of the Velcro there, and the other side, again, the Velcro was attached up there. So as far as putting this on here, when you're mounting it, you want the wires, this wire, to be coming out to the side. So you don't want to mount it like this, because if you mount it like this, it'll be sort of hard to manage the cables later. So turn it to the side and put it somewhere. So in my car, let's see if I can grab this. I ended up putting it right there. So I threw it right there, and again, when you put the Velcro, push for a second and make sure everything is tight and, you know, it has a good solid stick. So what you'll notice is, so we still have these cables, we'll hide these later, but as far as the box itself goes, you'll notice when you back away and you come into the car, you know, you can't notice any boxes down there and it's sort of hidden. And yeah, so that's where I mounted mine. And then in the next step, we'll zip tie and tuck these so these aren't showing anywhere, but that would be my recommendation on where to mount that box. And this is the Gorilla Glue that's included, so you don't have to use this, but the reason it's here is if you're having a hard time with the LED lights sticking to your car, you know, you could take some of the adhesive, put it on there, then stick it for it to stick a little bit better. I haven't had any issues myself. I've been running a setup like this in my cars for about 2 years or so. I could see though, if you live somewhere where it was like super hot, you know, and it gets really, really, really hot at some point, maybe, you know, this thing would fall off. The included electrical tape, you know, if you wanted to use the electrical tape on each side of the light for additional support, as long as you're not blocking one of the LEDs, you could do that too. That's an option, but again, you know, I like things to look pretty, so yeah, that's it for that. Yeah, every car's a little bit different for the cable management. Again, I have my box here. My wire for my light comes out here. So my wire's here. I just ran my wire and tucked it behind this little piece, and I just shoved it in there, and I have enough to just sort of shove it and not have it be visible. You might need zip ties for like this other junk. I'm just gonna actually just probably shove it in there, to be honest. Shove it in there. I might actually tuck this just around the side. The goal is you want two things. When you enter the car, you don't want these visible, and you definitely don't want it anywhere where your pedal is. So it's a little, I don't know if I'll be able to show it in this clip, but I'm probably gonna run the wires there and tuck this in here so it's a little cleaner look. All right, this is what mine ended up looking like. So this wire just sort of loops around. I could have zip tied or used the tape, but I put that there and then tucked the wires around the side here. Some wires are tucked here. So the cool thing is when you enter the car, you can't tell anything's there. I apologize for the shaky camera, but as I enter the vehicle, you know, look down, you really can't see anything there. And that's the stealth install we want. I'm gonna go over to the other side and so this side, same deal. This, ooh, it looks like on this car, on this little panel, there's a little slit, a little hole. So I think I'm gonna use a zip tie through the little hole here and use it to secure this light, this little wire here. So again, use a zip tie to put that there. Tuck all the extra wire back behind here. I feel pretty confident about this. So yeah, so the end of the zip tie you need to cut off. So I need to do that on the other side, but you know, you take your scissors, cut off the end of the zip tie, make sure not to cut any wire. And again, so now I'm entering this car, and I'm entering the car like this. And if I were to sit down, you know, you really can't see there's anything here. So there's not any like wires dangling that, I mean, unless you go all the way down here, you wouldn't be able to see most of this. So perfect. As far as testing the lights, every once in a while I'll get this question. They'll be like, the lights don't work. So again, these lights are turning on when your headlights are on. So you would just have to turn on your headlights to test to see if they work. In this case, it's making a noise because my door is open, but I can see, pop down and see that some are working there, pop down, see some are working there. Again, they're really not that bright because it's, you know, light outside. But when your headlights turn off, they should turn off. And that's pretty much it. You know, if you didn't attach your glove box, make sure again, attach that, don't forget about that. And that's it. It's stealth. You can't see it. You can't see that's in the car. It turns on when you want it to. And a lot of cars, a lot of Nissans, after you turn off the car, so you're driving at nighttime, you turn off the car, your headlights usually stay on for a little bit. I don't know if it's a safety thing because your headlights are on. These are on even though the car's off and you're getting out. It sort of makes a cool effect if you're showing up someplace and, you know, you turn off your car and then you open the door and, you know, the lights are still on and everybody sees them. But yeah, anyway, if you guys got questions, let me know at www.h2autodesigns.com.